branding 101.
It's the first thing for me. I can't get past the next step without naming my business.
No, you can't. And you know what? When I have conversations with people, one of the first things I tell them is people who want to get their business registered. One of the first things I say is, "What are you going to call your business? Have you thought about that?" And the majority of them are like a deer in headlights. Duh. I got to name this business? Yeah. You got to name your business. I think if anyone starts a business and thinks they're not going to mess up, then you're going to be highly disappointed. Let me just say that now. Don't go into business thinking you're not going to mess up. You're instantly going to be successful, because you will be disappointed and you'll be disheartened and you'll quit. Right? You have to go in there with the understanding. Expect people to find you organically is number 2.
Yeah. So
there has to be some work involved in building awareness around your podcast. You got to get out there on social media, do those clips, send shorts out. You have to do what you can to market your podcast as well if you want it to grow.
Mm-hmm. Can't just throw it up and be like, oh, everybody's going to come. I see that with business owners too. It's very similar. Businesses start their business and they open their doors and they're like, come, and people don't come. The Business Project Podcast.
Business can be complicated.
We break it down so regular people like us
can understand and find success. I'm John Crespo, accountant and consultant.
I'm Casey Bryant, marketer and event planner.
If you run a business
or want to run a business,
welcome to the show. Don't go broke at your grand opening. I'm talking to you. You see me? I'm pointing right at you. Don't go broke at your grand opening.
No. Mm-mm. The grand opening is just the beginning.
It's the worst thing you could do. There's so much that needs to be done before the grand opening that if you haven't done that, you're going to go broke at your grand opening.
Yeah, and we see it all the time. All the time. A lot of businesses that I work with, they think that that's like the ending. Like the grand opening is what they strive for. And then when they get there, they spent all their money and they put all their resources into it. You're laughing because you are doing the same thing right now.
Oh my OMG. Let me use the acronyms, the popular acronyms today. Yeah, like we're preparing for our grand opening.
Yeah.
Right? And building out that space. And there's so much more involved than I was expecting. So I'm like, every day I'm learning something new that I did not know before when I was originally planning. And I did planning before.
You did planning, yeah.
So it's crazy.
John went to me, a month ago? Not even a month ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, we've been talking about this building. Me, I have a whole business plan and I've been like trying to find investors and like thinking the whole thing through. Probably on the other extreme, like nothing is ever going to happen because I'm planning it too much.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah. And John just comes to me and he's like, I got a building. We're opening in 3 weeks.
Yep.
And
that's how you do it right there.
He walks me through this building and everything is dark teal. All the trim is dark teal. There's paneling on the wall and nasty carpet. And I'm looking at him and he's thinking he's opening in 3 weeks.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're crazy because you have to do like 4 coats of paint on this trim. And it's not just bottom trim. It's like this elaborate, beautiful top trim. And
we're doing a build out in the front.
Yeah.
Like we're knocking down walls and all that stuff too.
You crazy.
But to my testament and to really our testament, we were speaking about this model for a long time.
Yeah.
So we had the foundational process, the foundational aspect of it already in play. Mm-hmm. It's just actually taking that step and preparing for the grand opening is when you're going to find a lot of, I wasn't ready for this, And I think the difference with this that we're going through versus what a lot of other business owners go through is they don't go through that planning stage in the beginning.
Yeah, the planning part.
Yes.
We are planned.
It's all about research.
Yes.
All about research. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to you guys today a little bit about how not to go broke. at your grand opening, and how important it is to look at your grand opening as just the beginning, because really that's just the beginning. And I cannot even tell you how many times I see businesses do their grand opening. After that, they have no money for advertising. They have no money for saved up for supplies. They're expecting to open their doors, and this could be a physical location. It could be an online location. I think it all relates. And they're like, they're expecting people to rush to their business and to be able to fund their business from day one. And in all reality, that's not how it works.
It's not going to happen like that.
Not at all.
There's steps in the game that have to be taken to have a successful grand opening and continued success from that grand opening. And we can start from the first step, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Your target market.
Target market.
You're not selling to yourself. I mean, you may have thought of, hey, I need this in my life type of thing when you created the idea, but you're not going to buy your own product.
Or this is what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I enjoy baking cookies with lots of sugar and gluten, but maybe your community doesn't want cookies with sugar and gluten.
Yep.
Maybe they want gluten-free, sugar-free cookies.
And that's honestly, I've been hearing a lot more about that, right? Like there's an actual, there's a need for that. But like, if you're not doing that research, that market research to understand if there's other needs out there for what you're coming up with, then maybe nobody's going to come to your grand opening.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do?
You're going to be stuck like Chuck.
Yep. You got yourself in the lease agreement. You ordered all these supplies. You hired all these employees. And now you don't have money to pay for any of that.
Nope. So researching your target market is very, very, very important, and not making what you want or what you enjoy doing, but what your audience wants.
Yeah. And there's categories in that research.
Yeah. And you have to know the caricature. You can't sell to everybody. You can't open up a bakery. I just use a bakery because that's something that everybody understands, and be like, everybody likes cookies. Everybody likes cake. My audience is everybody, because that's not going to get you very far. You need to know exactly who your audience is. I want to sell to 12-year-old kids getting out of school.
Yep.
And then everything that you do can revolve around that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that is a step that so many business owners miss, that is truly detrimental to the success of your business, because then you're going to have to pivot on a whim. And if you're not willing, ready, and able to do that, then, just lock up the door.
Yeah. So how do people find their target market? Because I think a lot of people know that they need to know their target market, but how do they find them? How do you figure out what your target market is?
There's a lot of several ways. Number one, you can use social media, do polling, right? But I think polling is big today. Just asking questions out there on social media. You can reach out to a trusted group of friends and family and say, hey, what do you think? Would you buy this if this was offered to you? Is this something that interests you?
Facebook groups are really good,
Create
whether you're using Facebook or not, using community groups. So like here we have a bazillion of a group with the same name. And there's thousands of people in there, and people love to be heard. They love to give their opinions. And if you just go in one of those established groups that already have a huge following and ask a question, hey, if I were to open a cookie shop here in town, where do you think a good location would be, and what kind of cookies would you want?
Love it.
And then they will go crazy. And not that you have to take all of their opinions, because there's going to be a lot that you are probably inaccurate.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're probably going to get a lot of really good information in that.
And you can get a feeling, like you'll see a trend in the responses. So that's a good way to see, hey, is there a need for this in the community that I'm in to provide that? I think that's an awesome way to do it. But the point is, you should be doing that.
Right.
Like, if you're not doing that, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
And the whole point in this podcast is step number 2 of your business project, of your business plan, right?
Yeah.
So last week we talked about creating your name, which, by the way, we left a lot of points out. Last week when I was kind of reflecting on the podcast, I was like, man, we left a lot of points out, but it's okay, because we touched on them in the business project on the website. and you go through the courses. So if you go to the www.thebusinessproject.com, the link should be in the comments here. Then you can take the entire first couple courses for free. It takes you 15 steps to launching your business. There's homework, there's printables, there's a business plan sample that all you have to do is literally just replace the information with your information. All of that is on our website. And so the stuff that we missed talking about last week, you can catch for free on the Business Project.
Yeah, I mean, if we worry about hitting every point, then there's no reason for you to go there and get the rest.
Yeah, and the printables are so cool.
For real. Like, these are actual tangible things that you can have in your hand to help you every step of the way. So that's why we're talking about it. You got to go to thebusinessproject.com and dig deeper. Make that part of your research. Put that into your target market plan, your business planning process. Use that as a resource, because that's what it's there for.
Yeah. So that was step 1. That was last week, is creating your name. And then this week is step 2. And we're talking about your target market, your opportunity. Yeah. And so that's that's where we're going with this. And you're building your business plan. So if you go to the Business Project website, print out that template, and then as we go through these throughout the week, just fill in the information. And then by the end of it, you'll have your entire business plan. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And even if you are an existing business, this is your business plan should be a living, breathing document. It shouldn't just be something that you write once when you open your business and you put it in a drawer and you never look at it again.
Like an old encyclopedia. It's not that.
Not that.
You want to open it, blow the dust off that sucker.
Yeah. And let's get moving. Like, let's dig in, because your target market may have changed, or maybe you're missing out on opportunity. Your community changes, the way that you market changes. All of this stuff changes, and it is changing these days very quickly. Yeah. And if you're not continuing to take the time to sit down and analyze that within your business, we're going to come back with. Yep. All right. So now we're going to hear from our girl, Lorna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lorna Peters, Director of Marketing and Communications at Better Business Bureau, serving Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. It's the end of the day here in my household, and guess what I'm doing? Checking my mail. Something I need to do more, and I'm encouraging you to do more of, but I always try to check my mail at least once a week. Why? Because when we let our mail pile up, we miss things, such as I had a consumer who contacted me and said, hey, I finally checked my mail after 3 weeks, and it says in here that I applied for a debit card from Cash App. I don't know what Cash App is. I don't know why I received this debit card. I said, well, it means someone was able to utilize your name, your address, your social security number to actually apply for that Cash App debit card. So what should you do? Reach out to your credit bureaus right away. Let them know that your identity was tampered with. Let's put it that way. The other thing I'm saying is, if she did not check her mail for 3 weeks, this is what happens, right? And this is what could happen to us. Always take time to check your mail. Make sure the information you're receiving is not foreign to you. If you never applied for a debit card or credit card, if you never applied for certain information, if you never added your name to a list to receive a certain magazine, your identity may be compromised. So I'm encouraging you, as I encourage myself, let's take a moment, take some time. We're all busy, but review your mail, just like I'm doing right now, one by one. Make sure anything you have is actually what you requested, not what someone else is using as it pertains to getting a hold of your identity and using it for their purposes. So that's my tip for the week. Let's all check our mail. And thank you once again for having us. If you need anything, always reach out to Better Business Bureau by emailing info@gobbb.org. Have a great day.
And we're back.
So that snail mail, I check my mail every day.
Really?
Yep.
I am terrible at this. I check my mail like once a month. I hate mail.
No, I don't play around.
But you're also a numbers tax guy, like business, like you like that stuff. You're to see, I got paperwork.
I don't like to know that there's mail sitting there that's like gonna do something bad to me or something. So I go through that sucker every day. And if it's something out of the ordinary, I'm on that.
My husband gets so mad at me because I'm the one apparently that got designated. I love how you get married and then like you just get stuck doing things whether you like it or not.
Yeah. For real.
That's one of the things that I got stuck doing, and I hate mail. And he gets so mad at me. He's like, have you not checked the mail in like a month? Nope, I have not.
If you don't check it in a month, then you got to spend a whole day going through like, you probably have this much stuff that you have to go through.
And half of it is really important. I'm like, well, we missed that. I hate it.
No bueno.
How
Check
are
your
you
mail.
guys? Yeah. Do you check your mail? Apparently, I need to listen to Lorneth because there's a lot more issues
For real.
to not checking your mail. So
Yeah.
thank you. We love the BBB, Middle Tennessee.
Appreciate you.
What's up, Game Gear?
What up?
Our most consistent watcher.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
building something good over there, Mr. Game Gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a good thing going.
John Crespo, you're watching.
Hey,
it says, hey.
I gotta
up, my
check in
friend?
too.
Yeah.
I need some help. My grand opening's gonna be, oh my God.
I think it's going to be wonderful because you
Don't have
checked
much
out your competition. Yeah. Yeah.
So I did some really big thought around where the location should be, right? For this, for the next step in the journey. And because it entails mailbox services, virtual office services, and shipping and packing services, it has to be in an area where there isn't much of those services going on, right? There has to be like a dead
demand.
zone, a demand. Yeah, there's going to be a demand there. So if anybody lives in our town and has ever been to the post office, you know what it's like. We need more.
Yeah.
Right. The line is ridiculous, and that's an hour, 2 hour trip if you ever go to the post office.
That's another thing I hate doing is
Yep.
going to returning things, answering mail, returning things, and going to the post office.
Yep.
Are my top 3.
That's why we're answering that problem. Yeah. Because people hate to do it.
Yes.
And they hate to stand in line. So the two locations we were looking at, exit 1 area and exit 11 area in the Clarksville, the town that we live in, are 2 areas where there's like a dead zone when it comes to that kind of stuff. So we picked the exit 1 area to start with.
Yeah.
Then we'll venture off to exit 11. This is our model.
That's a model. But we did a lot of, we looked into the target market,
Yep.
which we just talked about, and we looked at our competition and researched it did very extensive, probably even more research than we should have about competition and moving forward with that. So that is the next step, is researching who's doing what around you, like who's doing similar things around you. And I think there's a couple of important notes when it comes to researching your competition. And I think the overall objective is to figure out how you fit. It's not to scare you away from doing something. So like if there's other people that are doing what you're doing, it doesn't mean that it needs to scare you away or that you can't do it. It's just, how can you differentiate yourself between your competition? Also, it's a great way to figure out your pricing. Do you want to be the cheapest, which I would highly not recommend? Do you want to have the best quality service? Do you want to have the best quality product? Is there something like unique that you can do within your business that people can get excited about? So the whole purpose in researching our competition is to see how you can fit your business into what's existing.
100%. Yeah. And it's okay to have similar competitors, people who are in your similar industry out there with what you're doing, because as you're doing your research, you can look at their reviews and you can see what people are, let's say, complaining about as far as what that product or service is. And that helps you build something that will meet, the needs of the people differently. So it's something that helps set yourself apart. So don't worry about competition. There's always going to be competition. I'm a firm believer that there's nothing new under the sun, but focusing on how to make what you're doing better and providing additional value to that will go a long way in helping you be successful.
Yeah. A great example of something and time when competition is good. And I think that I see all the time, I hear businesses all the time, specifically in our town and other towns too, talk about this being a bad thing. A new restaurant opened up next to me. So they like freak out and they get upset and they get mad. In all reality, if you say have a downtown and you have one restaurant downtown. That one restaurant is doing all of the marketing themselves. So somebody that's going to that restaurant is going to that restaurant because that restaurant put money and time and energy into marketing. If you have 5 restaurants downtown, then you've got 4 other restaurants. People aren't just going to go to one restaurant all the time. And same with boutiques. That's a great example of boutiques too. People are going to go. That's why the mall used to be so popular. It's not anymore because online shopping has kind of taken over, but it's still a good example.
It is.
You can go to one place and visit multiple locations, and you've got, 10 other businesses that are marketing for you. They're not specifically marketing for you, but they're spending time and energy to get people there. And that's time and energy that you don't have to spend. That's synergy right there. It's like you guys all come together and you create something better. And so I think looking at it in that way of, okay, so there's a restaurant opening next to me. Let's not look at it as a bad thing, but how can we capitalize on that traffic that they're paying for? Maybe putting a specials board out in front of your door, or working with that restaurant to do like a tasting tour, or there's things that you can do if you switch your mentality on working with your competition.
Yeah. And that's, I like that you brought that up because that makes a whole lot of sense. I look at, in our area, whiskey, bourbon, all that stuff is pretty popular. Right. So, there's several distilleries in our area, and they just got together and created a bourbon,
a whiskey tour.
Yeah. The bourbon trail. And that gives an opportunity for people to go try out all the different things and actually increases business that way. So competition is not necessarily a bad thing. It could be a very good thing if you look at it the right way and you approach it the right way.
And I see so many people, and it's a sad thing because they shut down and they get mad and they're like, oh, this stinking restaurant is moving in right next to me. And they get so mad and upset, and it ends up hurting their business because they don't see money walking by their business. It's like literally all of this money and opportunity is walking by your business, and you're just sitting there pouting. That doesn't do anything.
Nope, that doesn't work. Get over it. And take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we talked about target market, talked about competition. You want to get into what problem you're solving? Yeah.
So, and we hit on it a little bit. So when we were doing the research of where we're going to put the location, the mail service and packing services, is are you solving a particular issue or problem in your community with the product or service that you're providing, right? And if so, like, what is that problem, and how are you going to solve it, right? So that's a major way to understand how you're going to present it, because, and that's a way to go after your target market. You're going to ask some questions about the problem and find out what is needed to solve it in those questions that you ask. So what problem are you solving with what you want to do, what you want to provide? What are you solving? Find out, and so that you know how to bring it out to the market. Bring it out to the world.
A girl on my team and I were texting back and forth this morning because there's a billboard here, and it really caught both of our attention, like enough to where she texted me about it. But it says, warning, where we're from, traffic is terrible. We're just a quickly growing city, and there's not a whole lot of ways around it. It's like at certain times of day, it takes you an hour to get from one side to the other. And so this sign says, warning, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know, but it's like crazy traffic in Clarksville. Have you been hit? And it's for an attorney. And I think people see that. It's a big, bright yellow sign. It's so simple. The messaging is so simple, but it speaks to our pain point, right? It's that he's solving a problem. Like, that's something that we all know, everybody talks about in our city is an issue. And so it draws your attention. And so the quicker and the easier and the simpler you can be about your messaging on knowing your target market, knowing where you fit and what problem you're solving, and be able to effectively communicate that as simple as possible, the better you're going to do.
Yeah, communicating that is important. That's so huge. I like that because everybody complains about the traffic and the accidents here.
Yeah.
Like our name is not Clarksville, it's Crashville.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty smart. You know, that attorney understood the need and understood the pain point, and he's like pressing that button and get people to reach out to him.
Yeah. But he knew what problem he's solving. And so I think if you don't know what problem you're solving, if you're just baking cookies because you enjoy baking cookies, then you're going to have a hard time getting customers in the door.
So that leads into, he found a problem and created an opportunity out of that problem, which is our next point.
Yeah. Opportunity.
That's on
want me
you. I'm looking at you like, take it away.
Talk about opportunity. Okay. Yeah. So I think we touched, this kind of summarizes all of what we've already talked about. By looking at your target market, by researching your competition, by knowing what problem you're solving, you're taking all of that and you're creating opportunity out of it. So like after I've done all of this research and I've made 100 notes and scribbled on a whiteboard and figured all of this out, now where are my opportunities? What location do I want to be in? What problem am I solving? What services or products am I offering? How am I going to stick out? And where is my opportunity in this big world of business? Yeah.
Now you know you can make money out of it because you've done that research in the beginning. You got your feedback from the community. You got you figured out who your competition is and what they're doing right and wrong. And you figured out how to capitalize on that and find opportunity in there. So that just encompasses all of that. And I think the next thing you got to do is just get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. We've got some people. Hey, Edward, what's up?
Edward
Howard, woo woo, the highest. Good morning, friends, is what he said. I forgot that we had comments, so we're a little behind. But
we were going through these points.
He said, I spent 1 year preparing. It's going great, but we're learning daily.
Yeah, you'll never stop learning.
Yeah, never stop learning.
I have an acronym. It's ABL. Always be learning.
There you go. That's a good one. Hey, Auntie Bones. My Aunt Joan is watching from California.
How's the weather out there today?
Yeah.
It's kind of crappy out here.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a bad word.
Crappy?
Yeah.
It's a bad word?
Cruddy.
I'm rough around the edges.
Game Gear says, I check it multiple times a day, especially when I'm expecting something from me. So he's probably talking about the mail.
Yes, smart.
My Auntie Bone says, good advice today, guys. Like this live. Thank you so much. Game Gear says, by it, I mean the mailbox. I gotcha. I knew what you were talking about there. Justine, will you see if we have any comments? We're on Instagram now, too. We're streaming the lively from Instagram. But Edward and Game Gear and John Crespo, we're so excited to have you watching and being a part of this. Auntie Bones, thank you guys so much. If y'all have any questions, even if it's not related to the topic that we're talking about, you can put it in the comments at any time. And we will make sure, and even if we're not live anymore, we'll make sure and get to it. Morgan is watching. Good morning.
What's up, Morgan?
I'll have to catch the replay today, probably because she's super busy getting ready for her store to open.
I can just imagine what you're going through.
Yeah, so Morgan, I volunteered to help you with your building, and then John is like, no, because we have a building of our own to do. So I have been doing a lot of painting too, but I still want to come help you. So let me know. Shoot me a message because I want to come help you. Let's get that figured out.
Definitely.
Yes.
I might have some stuff that you can utilize from the stuff I have.
Morgan, we're talking about, if you're still watching, or even after, if you go back and watch the replay, we're talking about your grand opening, not going broke for your grand opening. So you're preparing for a big, huge grand opening. In the comments, write a little bit about some things that you've learned.
Yeah. Some pitfalls you found in the process.
What are some wins and what are some things that you would do differently? Let us know. We would love to hear from you. All right. So what was the last thing you said? Getting out of your own way.
So I think that's probably like one of the biggest obstacles we can give ourselves is just being so rigid in saying, I've figured it all out. I've got it all figured out. I don't need any help. This is going to be great. I'm going to open my doors. I'm going to have 1 million people the first day. I'm going to make all kinds of money. No, stop that. Like, be open to constructive criticism. Be open to feedback, especially from the clients, right, that are coming in, the customers that you're serving. Be open to feedback because the grand opening is not going to be perfect.
No.
That's the point to learn from right there because that's when you may have the most people coming in, because it's gonna die out after that. So you're gonna be actually pressure tested, right, on that grand opening day, and it's gonna allow you to see a lot of cracks in your processes, and that's an opportunity to learn from it, implement some change, so that during the easy times, it's just smooth sailing from there.
Yeah. After your grand opening, you should be almost a completely different business.
Yeah, for
Because
real.
you should use that. You don't know. If you've never done this before, then you don't know what to expect. Like, you're just kind of taking a step. You're taking a step and taking a step and taking a step. And you want to learn from this. And again, it's just the beginning. You know what I just realized? We haven't heard from Christina yet. And we're about to close out. So
No,
we got here.
Christina.
We got to hear from Christina, and then we will be right back. And we'll
close it out.
Close it out.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Y'all write your comments. We want to hear from you if you got something. All right, here is Christina.
Hi there, business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm Christina Stubblefield, a digital marketing strategist and co-owner of Sow-In Media Group. In today's quick tip, I'm talking about the undeniable impact of video on your business. In a world where content is king, video reigns supreme. Why? Because it's personal, powerful, and can convey your message in a way that text and images alone cannot. Did you know viewers retain 95% of a message when they watch it in a video compared to 10% when they read it in text? That's a game changer for engagement and conversions. Video allows you to connect on a deeper level, share your story, and truly engage with your audience. It's not just about selling, it's about building relationships. So, if you're not using video yet, now's the time to start. Whether it's behind the scenes looks, tutorials, or customer testimonials, videos can elevate your brand like nothing else. If you would like more tips from me, visit ChristinaStubblefield.com and join my email list.
And we're live. We were chit-chatting.
So if you were on Instagram, you would have been privy
Privy?
to our break conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
IG gets to watch us on the break.
a little, benefit to being on IG Live.
IG Live. Eventually, we'd like to do TikTok and all the things. We're going to
Yeah.
be live everywhere, all over.
Which is interesting because Christina was talking about how important lives are.
Yeah.
So we're live because it's an important aspect of your business, going live.
Doing videos in general
Yeah.
is important. You've got to do video. Whether you can even just do voiceovers. If you're a business owner, you should really be in your videos, because that's why people support local businesses, is because they want to see your face.
No, like, and trust.
They want to know who they're buying from. That's the advantage of being a local business. But if you're not comfortable being in videos,
Yeah. Get
there's
out of
ways
your way.
around it. Yeah.
Get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way, my friends. Okay. Oops. So we're going to close it out. We accidentally just closed myself out of the comments. Game Gear. This might not relate to the video topic, but how do you come up with new video ideas when you don't know what to do next? How do you come up with new video ideas?
Honestly, your videos can be just what you're doing on a daily basis. Like, bring people into your daily life and what you're doing. If you're trying to build an audience around something you do online, show how you set it up, show how you prepare, show how you're getting ready to do the product, like bring them in, and that can be your constant video.
Yeah, that was going to be my answer. Is I feel like when videos are too prepared, they don't do well. It's when you do it in the moment. Like, people want to know, they want reality. They want to know like actual things that are happening.
Yeah.
And so what better way to let them in than to show them actual things that are happening?
Yep, agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
100%.
Good question.
Thank you, sir. So to summarize the answer of that question is, what are you struggling with right now? Or what are you thriving with right now? Or what are you working on right now? Those are the videos you do. Aunt T-Bone said, yesterday had the strongest Santa Ana winds I can remember.
Wow.
This morning is beautiful in Southern California. Have a blessed day. I get to start playing plumber this morning. Playing plumber. Oh, joy.
Nice.
Playing plumber. She's being a plumber. Maybe you should open a business being a plumber.
There's a need that needs to be addressed over there.
And what do you think about the fact that TikTok might get banned?
I don't use TikTok. So I could care less. But a lot of people do, and a lot of people rely on TikTok. So
yeah, I watched a guy. There's a guy that I follow, and I watched him. He's got a lot of followers on TikTok, and he was giving this whole sob story about how he was. This was like his opportunity to shine as a person because he's a nice guy and so shy, and like, you know, TikTok helped him discover himself. And I get all that, but by the end of it, I was almost mad because I'm like, you're not realizing the whole purpose of, you're making it about you. And I think that's part of, that would be my opinion. I know there's a lot of opinions, and I honestly haven't even read the bill. I've just kind of read highlights about it. But I think that overall, having the CCP have access to all of our information at all times
Scary.
cannot be a good thing.
Don't want that.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I think instead of looking at how this affects us, like how it affects my followers or me being able to share, like there's a million other places where you can share your voice. We've got 55 bazillion social media outlets.
Yep.
You might not have as many followers on that, but if you're really doing this to have a voice and to share your story and do all the things and not because you want to be famous on TikTok,
Right.
then you'll be good. You'll be okay because it's for, I think, the better good of everybody. That would be my opinion.
And my thing is, if it's a business, right? If you're building a business on social media, but you're relying on just one thing, one revenue stream for your business, then you're wrong anyway. This is a testament why you have to build something outside of just social media. Like, use it as a resource, but don't make it your end all be all. Because just like in the real world, right? If we're focusing on one product or service in my community, if I'm just focusing on one product or service and that thing fails, I have nothing else to fall back on. So that's wrong on my part. I should think about how I'm getting revenue in and diversify that.
That is such a good point.
Yep.
100%.
Mic drop.
Yeah. And do what? More comments?
Oh, next week.
Next week. Oh, yeah. Let me get just real quick. So, because I can relate to that, and I think that that's really important. So my business was built on Facebook. We came out when, not the business project, but my other business. When we came out, there was no advertising on Facebook. It was like at the beginning. That's what happens with these social media platforms. They do everything for free. If you're one of the first ones on there, it explodes because they want to get as many people as possible on the platform. And so we just happened to do that when Facebook was starting, did really good. Now we're like, oh, like Facebook is like randomly shutting down. We need to figure out other ways to, so we started a text club and an email list and, you know, other social media platforms. And so even if your business is social media and that's what you do is create videos and entertain in that way, still figuring out a way to diversify that between other platforms is smart. That was a really great thing
It's
to
true.
say.
It's
Yeah.
it's so true for all business types. Like, if you're not doing that, then you're going to suffer. Any sway in the market is going to affect your business like detrimentally.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked today about not going broke at your grand opening.
Don't go broke at your grand opening.
Because your grand opening is just the beginning. It's just the beginning.
So next week,
I'm
not going to be here.
John's leaving us forever.
I got to pick up my daughter.
John's not going to be here, but we have a special surprise for you. We're going to have Justine on to be with us. She has been in the background helping us get things going. And the reason she joined the business project team is, I think, because the business project has been a big part of her life in the past year or so. And so we get to hear her story and hear from her. And she's doing some cool things with her kids. And I think she's got an entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to hear her story.
And I'll be listening and putting comments in there.
So we will see you next week. We're going to take a break from building our business plan, and we're going to hear from Justine, hear her story. And then we will be back the week after that with step 3 of building our business plan.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Peace.
All